The University of Utah celebrates the rich diversity of our community members. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, in classrooms and in your activities, you have the right to a university experience free from discrimination. The Office of Equal Opportunity, Affirmative Action, and Title IX, commonly known as OEO, is a resource to provide a fair and equitable environment for all members of the university community. The office investigates formal complaints of discrimination. We also provide resources to individuals who may have been impacted by discrimination. Finally, we provide information on the university's non-discrimination policies. The policies we are going to discuss in this video protect and apply to you. This means that policies will protect you from discrimination, and we also expect you to adhere to these policies to create a safe and fair campus space for all. It is against university policy for individuals or groups to be discriminated against because they are a member of a protected class. At the University of Utah, protected classes are race, ethnicity, color, national origin, age, religion, disability, protected veteran status, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, and genetic information. Behavior is considered discrimination when it is based on a protected class status and the behavior creates an adverse impact, meaning it makes it harder to pursue university activities, including studies, living, and extracurricular activities. Here are some examples of discrimination that students could experience. This next section addresses sexual misconduct, including sexual violence. Sexual misconduct is another form of discrimination that is prohibited at the university. Sexual misconduct is a category of behaviors that are sexual in nature and unwanted or uninvited. They include intimate partner violence, including acts of dating and domestic violence, sexual exploitation, including revenge porn, voyeurism, or incapacitating a person to gain a sexual advantage, sexual violence, which is any physical sexual act perpetrated against a person's will or where the person is incapable of giving consent, stalking, which is engaging in conduct directed at a specific person and based on that person's sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression, that would create a reasonable person to fear for that person's safety or the safety of others or suffer substantial emotional distress. Non-consensual contact, any physical contact with another person of a sexual nature without that person's consent. Or non-consensual penetration, the sexual penetration of any bodily opening with an object or body part without consent. A form of sexual misconduct that many people are aware of is sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature when submission to such conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of a person's employment, education, living environment, health care, or participating in a university program or activity. Submission to or rejection of such conduct by an individual is used as a basis for a factor in decisions affecting that individual's employment, education, living environment, or participation in a university program or activity, or such conduct has the purpose or effect of interfering with an individual's employment or education, or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment for that individual's employment, education, living environment, or participation in a university program or activity. OEO will look into any discrimination, misconduct, or other behavior, regardless of the location, if it affects somebody's ability to focus or feel safe in the academic or work environment. If you experience these behaviors on campus, in your living arrangements, or while doing things not related to the university, it could be considered sexual misconduct. Also, if you commit any of these acts, regardless of location, it may be considered sexual misconduct, and you may be subject to university disciplinary action. If you have experienced discrimination or sexual misconduct, we hope that you will feel safe seeking support from the university. You may wish to seek assistance from an instructor. If the behaviors you experienced happened in the classroom, instructors have a responsibility to take immediate and appropriate action to end and to prevent future occurrences of harassment or misconduct in the classroom when they witness or have been informed of its occurrence. Most university employees, including instructors, advisors, coaches, supervisors, managers, etc., are what are known as responsible employees. This means that if you disclose any act of sexual misconduct to these individuals, they are obligated by university policy to report this information to OEO. These individuals are not required to report this information to any other department or police unless the allegation involves a minor. Confiding in a person who is required to report information to OEO can seem scary. When a responsible employee does make a report, OEO will have the university victim survivor advocates reach out via email to the person who may have experienced the act of sexual misconduct. They will provide information on support resources such as academic adjustments, no contact directives, security escorts, counseling services, and other protective or safety measures. They will also provide information on working with OEO to address the issue in a variety of ways, including alternative resolutions or formal investigations into conduct. The person who received the email is not required to respond or use any of the services listed. There are also confidential resources that you may wish to use to address potential sexual misconduct. These service providers do not have any obligation to contact OEO about any sexual misconduct that was reported. Victim Survivor Advocates, known as VSA, support students, faculty, and staff who have experienced or are experiencing any type of interpersonal violence. This can be stalking, dating or domestic violence, sexual harassment or exploitation, sexual assault, rape, etc. VSA keeps information and conversations with clients private and confidential. No information is shared with anyone outside of the Center for Student Wellness without written permission. If you are ever concerned about your immediate safety or the safety of others, contact University Police or dial 911. Non-discrimination policies also provide a way for you to seek accommodations to continue academic pursuits and participation in other university activities. Regardless of any accommodation that may be granted, students are responsible for satisfying all academic objectives, requirements, and prerequisites as defined by the instructor and the university. Students and employees who are pregnant or have pregnancy-related conditions are entitled to reasonable accommodations to allow them to continue their education or employment pursuits. Nursing students and employees must be granted reasonable time and space to pump breast milk in a location that is private, clean, and reasonably accessible. Bathroom stalls are not considered lactation spaces. If you need a pregnancy-related accommodation, contact OEO directly. You may also work directly with instructors if you would like to request accommodations to adhere to religious beliefs. A disability is a physical or mental impairment which substantially limits one or more major life activities. This disability can be permanent or long-term in duration. There are many examples of reasonable accommodations that can be made in the classroom. If you need an accommodation as a student, contact the Center for Disability Access. If you need an accommodation for your university employment, contact either the main campus or University Hospitals and Clinics Human Resources Office. The university also has a non-retaliation policy. This policy prohibits retaliation against individuals who come forward with a complaint or who participate in OEO investigations. Retaliation is any punishing act such as a demotion, failing students, directly intimidating someone, or having friends or coworkers intimidate or harass that person who came forward or participated in an investigation. Individuals can take simple measures to create a safe campus space. First, be a role model. If you know what good behavior looks like, behave in that manner. Second, when you see inappropriate behavior, call out that behavior. Let the people who are engaging in the behavior know that you do not approve. Finally, if you do something and question whether it was appropriate, check in with the people involved. Even if they say the behavior was fine, you probably shouldn't repeat the behavior. One of the best things you can do to create a safe space for all is to think. Think through your words and actions before you say or do them. If you are ever concerned that your words or actions may hurt somebody, then you probably shouldn't say or do them. If you have questions or need assistance with any of the topics we have covered, reach out to the Office of Equal Opportunity directly. We are located in room 135 of the Park Building. You could also call, email, or check our website if you have questions or concerns. Thank you for reviewing this video and have a great semester.